My name is Michael Alley, and I'm an Associate Professor of Engineering Communication here at Penn State. I'm also the author of The Craft of Scientific Writing and Scientific Presentations. And what I would like to do today is to talk about one aspect of scientific presentations, the design of presentation slides. Slides that you show in a scientific presentation make a difference in how much people understand and how much people remember. So if you look at this next slide, what we have is, unfortunately, the default master slide of PowerPoint. You've got this large centered headline at the top, and then as your first default, you have got a bulleted list. And a good question is, why? Why those choices? And psychologists say we can do better than that. If you look at this next slide, you see this slide represents about 40% of the slides in science and engineering. They certainly don't all have this background or necessarily have this exact color choices, but what they do have is they have a phrase or a single word headline, and then that is supported solely by a bulleted list. I really would challenge, why have a slide such as this one with just text? There is so much text here that the audience cannot keep up with you as a speaker and as well as themselves as a reader. There are just too many words per minute that they are trying to process. If you take a look at the next slide, you see an example of a phrase or single word headline supported by a bullet list and then an image. This constitutes about 25% of the slide. While an image is a great thing, the sad part here is that the image gets compromised. It gets short shrift. People beyond the first row have no chance at all to read these call-outs. And again, there's so much text, the audience can't keep up. And my main point is, you can do better. You can do much better. There are different alternatives here to this default topic-subtopic structure, but I want to talk today about one I think that is particularly suited for scientists, the assertion-evidence approach. You create a sentence that states the main purpose of the slide, no more than 2 lines up at the top, and then supporting that sentence is going to be some type of visual evidence. It could be photograph, it could be a drawing, it could be a diagram, it could be a graph. Even though you are expending more words at the top, you are having much fewer words overall on the slide. And in fact, what I would recommend is you show no more than 15 to 20 words per minute when you are trying to communicate to a scientific audience. Let's suppose we wanted to talk about why dogs are so much better than humans at detecting scent. So why is that? Well, one thing certainly has to do with the size of a dog's nose in relation to a person's nose. And with that, I'm talking about the number of olfactory sensors. But some interesting research is going on in terms of the aerodynamics coming into a dog's nose and then passing through the passages. Like us, a dog simply breathes in through its nostrils, as you can see on this slide. What is interesting is when a dog exhales, the dog has these folds of skin that actually cover those nostrils, unlike us. And when the dog exhales, that air actually goes out through these slits on the sides of its nose, called midlateral slits. Think about a dog that is sniffing. That head is down, as in these 2 pictures. What that dog is doing in that photograph on the left is exhaling. And as you can see, the stream of air is going behind that dog, kicking up all these particles. That dog is trying to locate that scent source. We exhale our air back into the scent source. For the dog, it's going behind itself, and so the airstream from that scent source remains pure. And so in just this short sequence, I've shown you the assertion-evidence structure. And what I hope to have done is to show you a different way to construct a presentation slide. Not a topic and a subtopic with the bulleted list or maybe a bulleted list and an image, but with an assertion, something you want that audience to walk out the door with, and then supporting that with visual evidence.